Hey guys, I'm Hilda Ashley and welcome. It's officially time to get real and cozy, a place where we keep it real and discuss God, lifestyle, and dating. So grab your tea or your glass of wine, cozy up, and let's get real. So today we're going to be talking about the power of overthinking. Is it as serious an issue for some people? Can they just stop overthinking? And if you're not an overthinker, how can you deal with someone who is an overthinker? By definition, or one of the definitions, overthinking is to think too much about something, to put too much time into thinking or analyzing something in a way that is harmful than helpful. That could be dwelling on past events, second guessing decisions, delayed decisions because you're too busy thinking about your decisions, replaying events and past mistakes. And personally, this is a personal struggle of mine. I have gotten better, and we're going to talk about some of the steps that I've taken, but I have years and years of experience in this field of overthinking. Now, I am not a psychologist. I am not a doctor. This is just based on my own experiences. There are many causes for overthinking. Childhood trauma, emotional trauma, from past experiences. I mean, the list really does go on. But for me, I've discovered, or what I believe my reason is, past disappointments, overgeneralization, and the illusion of control. Past disappointments. It could be, I had two options. I made one decision and it didn't go right. So the next time I'm given similar options, I overthink it because of my past experiences or my past disappointments. Overgeneralization. Example would be, I'm in school. And obviously you have to, simpler terms, put your thinking cap on for school. I haven't learned to differentiate the amount of thinking that maybe school requires, compared to something much smaller in day-to-day activities or day-to-day life. In the illusion of control, I'm not a control freak, but what I mean by that is I take current events and try to predict the outcome. So that's what I mean by the illusion of control. And the bad thing about it is, like, I could literally overthink my way into exhaustion, like to the point where I would have to lay down, or whatever I'm overthinking, I would just leave it. Like, not an actual example. For an example, if I was in a store and I couldn't decide between two shoes and I'm sitting there overthinking it, I get to the point where I just walk away from both because I can't make a decision. So it's a hindrance in a way for us overthinkers. And a lot of people who don't overthink, it's just not a struggle of theirs. They tend to look at it as if it weren't a serious issue or it's not that big of a deal. Just stop overthinking. But for someone who struggles with it, it's not as simple as that. You overanalyze, you replay things over and over, and it can really be paralyzing. And even on top of that, it can trigger anxiety. And for me, I used to think, like, I don't know why I have anxiety. It's so weird. This feeling came out of no, it didn't come out of nowhere. I overthought my way into this feeling of anxiety. And for overthinking, and anxiety is viewed as a disorder, but overthinking is not viewed as a disorder. But it can be detrimental to your health if you're overthinking your way into like migraines, exhaustion, and you have to lay down. That's not healthy. And let me address this really quickly. There's a difference between expressing the way you feel, expression, and overthinking. I have experienced either me opening up to someone about me overthinking or them picking up on my overthinking. Whenever I express my feelings, it's concluded that I'm just overthinking. So make sure you understand the difference between you're overthinking and you expressing how you feel, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because there is a difference. And I'm the queen of examples, so here's an example. If Your friend walks in, steps on your toe, doesn't apologize. Addressing the issue would be, hey, you stepped on my toe, you didn't apologize, what's up? That's addressing an issue. You're expressing how you feel. That bothered me when you did that. Now, overthinking would be within under 5 or 10 minutes of them stepping on your toe, you're like, your mind's bouncing all over the place. Oh, we got into an argument yesterday. They still mad. They're trying to disrespect me. So I guess we're not friends anymore. La, 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 la. And then you go into the situation to address what just happened in a manner that you probably shouldn't. So it really has the power to alter your actions based on events that haven't occurred or facts that you don't have. It's giving the power of thinking too much, and it becomes overthinking. I saw a quote once, and I think it was on Instagram. Probably not quoting it right, but it said overthinkers, masters of turning calm into chaos. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's kind of true to an extent. Because I'm not saying just because you overthink you're always wrong, because you're not. But you can create some situations that really you could have avoided. But back to turning calm into chaos, I automatically thought about TikTok. Like the joke that if you're dating someone or you're in a relationship, you always get good morning beautiful, good morning sweetheart, good morning handsome. In 1 minute you get, in one morning you get good morning. That's it. And then you go into this whole thought process of why they were so dry, why they sent me a dry text message, or they never added a period, or why are they texting in all like you're overthinking everything. And I've learned like I cannot allow my thoughts to change my actions. Us overthinkers tend to I say intensify a situation without having actual facts, the actual factuals. Like we go sometimes to the extreme, and like no one will know. This is all in our head. That's the crazy thing about it. Like we're not necessarily acting crazy or, you know, flipping over tables, but there's chaos going on in our head. Sometimes that leaks out and we don't really realize it's altering our actions. So back to that example versus texting a dry good morning back. How about saying good morning as you normally would say good morning until you get all the facts? They could just be woke up late, rushing to work, got at a red light, decided to text you and pulled into the job and didn't have time to like look at their, I mean, things happen. So once I identified I was in fact an overthinker and very indecisive, which my family and friends have joked for years about it, I decided to put in work. And it's not that I think one day I'm going to just wake up and not be an overthinker and not, you know, have this thing with anxiety. But I do believe you have to work on it every single day. And just like anyone who has an addiction or to, you know, someone struggling with substance abuse, it's one day at a time. You have to work on it every single day. It's no magic remedy, no magic pill, no magic saying. Nothing can just change it overnight. You have to work on it every single day. And I'm not someone that just says, oh, that's just who I am, and boom, I'm comfortable with that. I have to work on it. And that's what I decided to do. So some of the things that I do that is helping me, has helped me. Surround myself with good communicators. They don't have to be great, but they have to be good at communication, or at least willing to become better at communication because they care about you. You know, when it involves you making plans, whatever it is, just be good at communicating. Because if you're surrounded by people who are poor communicators, that don't care, poor decision making, it's going to be very hard to take the steps that you need to take to get better and prevent yourself from overthinking, the overthinking frenzy, and having chaos going on in your mind. 2, I tell people the truth. I tend to overthink certain situations, but don't be careful with that, because some people try to use that against you. I will tell people, but I also am able to identify when someone's trying to use it against me. 3, turn it off. Like, my brother will joke and say, call me Patrick from SpongeBob, because I literally turn it off. Like, there's no happy medium. Like, oh, I'm just going to turn off thinking about this, but I'm going to continue to think about that. If I have nothing to do and it's my free time, I turn it off. Like, I'm not about to be thinking how to use anything, any instrument, any tools, any machines. I'm not going to waste my thinking on that. You show me how to do it, I'm going to mimic you. I'm not going to put too much thought into it. The 4th thing is give yourself time to think. Then get up and get busy. So, if you have a big decision to make and you tend to overthink when you have decisions to make, set a time, give yourself that time to think about what you need to think about. If you went through a breakup and you just need a woosah, give yourself time to think about that breakup. If you're dating and you're not sure about this, give yourself time, but also don't take all day. Get up and get busy. And it doesn't always have to be, everybody's on this productive, gotta stay busy, gotta keep grinding thing. Boo. Like, do something relaxing. Like, for me, I've gotten back into painting and drawing, something I was really passionate about when I was younger. And that is so peaceful. Like, I'll put on some lo-fi samurai, and I will paint away and just get lost. And I love it. So find something that's peaceful. You don't always have to be on grind time. Like, relax. But don't relax laying down in your room with no noise, because you'll start overthinking. At least I know I will. 5, I already addressed this. Don't let it change your actions without the facts. If you do not have the facts, don't change how you're acting. Sometimes I said it'll bleed out and you don't realize your thoughts are bleeding out. Like, if there was an altercation at work and you're overthinking all day when you go home, all night, all morning, how the workplace is going to be. Oh, they're probably talking about me because I left early, and everybody's going to be against me, and nobody's going to like me, and I'm going to have to find a new job. And you walk in there with those negative thoughts that you've been thinking about all day, it's going to bleed out. And while you're thinking, oh, they're looking at me funny, they're watching me, oh, nobody's speaking to me, you're probably giving off something that you don't realize you're giving. So don't let it alter your actions without the facts. 6, and I know there's a lot of people who aren't believers, but for me, I am a believer. And one thing that is truly helping me is talking to God about it. Talking to God about my overthinking. Prayer, the word. Whenever anxiety starts to kick in, just talk to God. And that really has helped me. Like, before I call mom, dad, whoever, my cousin, and talk to her, I talk to God first. And that really, really helps me. I listened to a sermon, Jerry Flowers, and one thing that I took away from it is so simple: God got me. And honestly, that has got me through a lot. If I'm at work and something goes left or whatever the situation may be, schedule is packed all day and I'm exhausted, or whatever, my neck hurts, my back, whatever it is, I have a migraine, I'm ready to go home, my schedule's booked back to back, I'm just like, God got me. And sometimes I think I'm always been the type of person to leap first and then overthink later. And people have admired me for my ability to dive, just jump in. If I have an idea, if I have a goal, if I want to do something, I dive in, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should have done that. Started second guessing myself. So I think it's good sometimes to leap first, but I have to have a cutoff limit. You have to have a limit on where you second guess yourself. You're already in there. And if you're someone who thinks too much before you leap, just leap and then think. Give yourself a limit of the overthinking. Like, I remember when I first started YouTube, I posted my videos. I think I still have like maybe just 3 videos up, and I haven't picked it up since. I literally overanalyzed, overthought. I'm like, why am I talking? Is that my voice? Why do I look like that? I don't look like that. It's just constant overthinking. I'm already in there. I already started it. I may as well continue it. So I told myself, like, this year, God willing, I'm going to do everything that I started or wanted to do. One being a podcast. Back in 2020, I wanted to start a podcast, and I didn't realize how many people had podcasts. And I said, no, too many people are doing it. If you follow me on social media, I used to post so much about like food, myself in the gym. I removed a lot of that, and I was like, I don't know if I want to post like the fitness thing anymore. I feel like it's oversaturated. Everybody's doing it, but that's me overthinking. Like, if I quit everything that everybody else is doing and I feel like it's oversaturated, I'm going to end up with nothing. So again, don't alter your actions based on your thoughts or without the facts. And this is because I don't know how it could have went if I would have continued with, YouTube, if I would have started the podcast, if I would have continued with my fitness journey, posting it anyway. What could have happened? I didn't have any facts. I'm going based on my thoughts. So those are some of the steps that I take. And to summarize, surround myself with good communicators, tell the people the truth, turn it off, give yourself time to think, and then get up and get busy. And it doesn't always have to be strenuous activity. Do something relaxing to get your mind off of your thoughts. 5, do not change your actions without the facts. Don't allow yourself to overthink and alter how you're moving, your decisions, or how you're treating someone based on what you believe, the reason that they're treating you. 6, for me as a believer, I talk to God about it. I pray, I feed myself the word. And honestly, I have gotten better, if I do say so myself. At least I think so. It took a lot of self-reflecting and just being able to identify when I'm overthinking and when I need to like take a moment and chill out. And honestly, I really applied these things recently, and it's really helping. Overthinking isn't, a lot of people deem it as most people who overthink are insecure people, but I think there are different types of overthinkers. And like I said, some people just control is their thing. Some people, childhood trauma, I would necessarily say it's an insecurity. But if you're trying to communicate, if you have a family or a member or a friend, or you're dating someone that overthinks, the best thing for you to do is communicate. And if you suck at communicating, get better at communicating. Just ask them, how can I communicate better with you? Now, you as a person who does not overthink, you have to be able to identify someone who is just an overthinker and someone who is highly insecure that needs constant reassurance, because there is a difference. And, if you listen to social media, they'll tell you overthinkers just need constant reassurance. I wouldn't say constant for myself, and this is just for me. I can't speak for everyone. It's just reassurance in a situation. If something went left and you had to have a discussion about it, reassuring me with that conversation that is needed to be had. That's the type of reassurance that I need. Constant reassurance for my job, like patting me on the back, constant reassurance I'm doing a good job. I don't need that. Or dating, if I were in a relationship, constant reassurance that they love me. I don't need that. It's when things are rocky or things are slightly changing, or things, ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. Reassurance in that conversation needs to be had. Like, okay, we're still on the same page. I'm good now. So that's, it's, overthinkers don't need a lot. We just need a little more than a non-overthinker. That's all. All right, guys, that's all for tonight's episode. Episode 1, The Power of Overthinking. I'm your host, Hilda Ashley. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. Also, next week, make sure you tune in to get real and cozy with me.